Hello, dear Leo. I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your September 2021 horoscope. And we kick off the month of September with Mars in Virgo in your second house, opposing Neptune and Pisces in your eighth. This could indicate that you're probably still thinking about it, but you're really focused and driven on dreaming up opportunities to have more maybe things in your life, or who you actually need to join forces with that will give you more value in what you do as far as having income, or maybe you're trying to acquire some possessions and you know that you need to have some extra funds or somebody or something, but it seems elusive or it seems out of reach. So you may be overthinking about money or possessions. And I'm going to even use the word obsessed, which is more associated with Pluto, but with Mars in Virgo here, it can get very laser focused. The mind can get so focused on something that you need or want or that you're trying to perfect, right? And this in the second house could indicate you may be overthinking or even obsessed about money, or obsessed about having more, acquiring more possessions, or finding ways in which you can give that money away, because Virgo is the sign of service. And so you may be, trying to give away certain things. Maybe nobody's getting it. At the same time, this can also be a great time if you are trying to, say, sell a home or sell your wares or sell your, physical items, that if you may find that people have a tendency to be a little like, hey, I don't want to pay what you're asking. And so you're going to have to do a little bit of the negotiating with it here, because they may not see the value of what you do in these items. It also may be that you need to use some discrimination when accepting certain offers. So that's what I'm saying, is that they may say they may paint a pretty offer that may be too good to be true. So you need to, really use some discrimination there. And you may be asking yourself, does this line up with what I value? Because if not, I don't know about this. So there's that, because it's an opposition. So you're ping-ponging back and forth. You're working really hard right now. I would imagine that you're being forced to work hard to pay some bills or to be able to acquire what you want. Or even if you are you've already accumulated wealth in this lifetime, that maybe what you're working hard on is trying to give it away, but putting it to the right place or the right investment. And you want to be rewarded for your efforts. That's what this beginning of September may have your attention on. Do also use this time with Neptune and Pisces and Mars and Virgo to trust your intuition. You can tap into this higher wisdom and bring it down into practical magic, practical ways that can give you what you are looking for. And so it may be that you paint the pretty picture. Let's say you're trying to get a promotion. You might have to paint a pretty picture in order to get your boss to see the value that you've added. Or maybe you've completed a project with such great detail and such attention to all the little fine things that there's no way they couldn't put you in that leadership role, or that they couldn't at least reward or appreciate you. I would also say that maybe you're expecting some money to come to you and it just isn't there yet. And now we also have Mercury going into shadow on the new moon, Virgo new moon, which is the 6th of September, further emphasizing this second house energy. And so this is going to be activating what you're helping you understand your financial situation even more. And you may be setting some new moon intentions that help you to manifest and provide what you need. It's also a good new moon for looking at self-care. And so do trust that you need to come back to yourself and find ways in which maybe you've been overgiving that you need to pull back in. And with the new moon here, it's a beautiful time because it is a dark moon and not a lot of action happens on new moons, or at least they shouldn't, because it's very it's more like the seed that just gets planted in the soil. It's germinating. It hasn't even, it's not even taking roots yet, right? So it's not the time to take the action. It's just the time to be for a little bit and let it cook, you know? So taking care of yourself is really important. Are you feeding your body? That's another thing that you're going to be looking at with this new moon, because Virgo, it's all about health, but being of service. Our body is a temple. It serves us. So are you putting things in it? Second house is about physicality. Are you taking care of your body, putting nutritional things? This may be a time where you commit to holistic remedies and foods and things like that. Or maybe there is something that you're able to do that gets you in nature, and maybe you take on a more plant-based diet, things like that. You may also be looking at, what do you need? What are you most in need of right now? And then how do you acquire it? And this is going back to resources. It doesn't matter if it's time, if it's energy, if it's food, but it's all these things that you're looking at to say, wait a minute, if that doesn't provide value to me, then why am I wasting my time and energy on this? And you may be reevaluating your values, especially as I mentioned that Mercury is going to be in shadow in Libra, starting on this new moon, and then it will go retrograde. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Retrograde at the end of the month, all the way through to almost the end of October, but it doesn't get out of shadow till November. So Mercury retrograde is going to be having you also reevaluating, reminding, redoing, right? All the RE things. So with this energy of this new moon in Virgo, you may be looking at, am I living by my values? And if not, what do I need to do to make those adjustments? This new moon can help you establish physical security. It can help you use practical abilities, and it's a way of being of greater service to yourself, and then you can show up for others as well. This new moon has a beautiful, close, tight trine to Uranus in Taurus, another earth physical sign. Taurus is the natural ruler in the zodiac of the second house. And so this has more second house emphasis. This can give you a chance to be able to maybe have a sudden job offer that increases your income, or a second source of income, or maybe it gives you somebody that you hold value with and that you partner with. This can be, established bonded partners. Maybe your spouse receives a promotion, receives extra income, something along those lines. And now you get to go, now we have what we need, and we can start planning. We can start putting some practical things in place. Single Leos, you may end up coming up with ways in which you can suddenly get a promotion. You may have been waiting, maybe turned away from a new role or whatever, and it doesn't, and then suddenly it shows up, and this becomes your focal point, your new role versus a relationship right now. Because second house isn't so much about relationship, it's about person. Relationship comes later. So that when you're looking at this new moon in Virgo, you're looking at it from, how can I add more security and more value to the physical world, the physical needs of my life, to my body. Yeah. And reevaluating values as well. Speaking of values, we have Venus moving into Scorpio. So Venus represents values, represents finances, pleasure, how we attract, how we harmonize. But also Venus is the giver and the taker. It is what we are most attracted to. It's how we share love or show love. Mars is about sex. It's about who we may be sexually attracted to, or our sexual practices, or it has to do with our drive and our passion, whereas Venus is about pleasure. And with her in Scorpio, she really loves the pleasure of finding strong, emotional, deep bonds. She wants relationships. She has this urge to merge, and this is going to be in your fourth house. And you may be attracted to going really deep into your home. Now, this also has an indication that you may want to check things like your pipes, your sewage, the underground, because that's all very scorpionic, and we're dealing with water sign of Scorpio. So anything to do with the water, you might want to check that out if you think you have suspicions around it, or you have to deal with it, because you may attract something in a situation here in your home that needs to be taken care of, right? But on a relational, on a human, on another human standpoint, relating to humans, this has a lot to do with benefits from your family. You may receive some financial benefits. So remember, we were talking, Leo, about second house and the what you need for security there financially. Well, this money piece may come from family with Venus and Scorpio. You may also find that your home becomes your social area where everybody comes and they feel really at home, and they feel like they can just sink in, they feel held, they feel protected. And they also may feel, if you're single here, Leo, this could be where you meet somebody and you bond with them because you share, they feel at home with you. And you can make them feel so deeply connected to everything around you. Now, you bonded Leos. If you maybe needed to find a way to mix things up or to create a little bit more romance in your relationship, take on a home project, something that makes you feel good, like maybe even thinking about buying another home or doing something where you just become homebodies for a little bit and you snuggle and you read books together, or you know, whatever it is that you guys do that allows you to feel at home with each other. You may cocoon yourself a little bit. You may do a little bit of reminiscing about the past and the family and memories and all of that sort of, all this emotional stuff that allows you to just bond that much closer. Single Leos, if you are looking to go deeper with somebody that you've been dating for a little while, get those really emotional questions asked and answered. So why would you like to do that? Or what is it about, you know, travel that's so important to you? You know, ask some of these more emotional things of like, what is it getting this other person invested in something? And I guarantee you, they're going to start getting a little closer to you. I would also say that some of you Leos will be looking at bonding in a deeper way, meaning this literally is where people move in with each other. So either you're getting married and moving in, or you've decided that this is your person, or you've been dating a while or whatever, and you're going to move in together. You're going to talk about it. There's a lot of home energy here. Do be careful, because the shadow side of Venus is jealousy. She values loyalty when she's in Scorpio. So do watch if you get a little jealous, it becomes real if your person doesn't want to spend a lot of time around you. So just be careful about that. You may be wanting to stay at home and your person wants to be out and about doing other things, or their work takes them away. They're having to go, but you have to stay. Maybe you feel left behind. Just keep that in mind. That is an energy that could reveal itself while Venus is moving through Scorpio. And you get to talk about it because Mars enters Libra in your third house on September 15th. And this means you're going to be driven by relationships and communicating and what it is. So if there's issues that have come up, I mentioned Mercury, Libra, shadow going to retrograde. All of this corresponds because it's all activating that third house. Then we also have the sun moving into your third house on the 22nd. I will talk about that in just a minute because there's a full moon in Pisces in the middle of all this as well. So back to Mars in Libra. This is a very sexy social time for you where you could flirt, you could have fun, you can flatter, you can be, you know, the social butterfly that you are, the expressive Leo that you are. And do watch that with Mars here, relationships, tensions may happen. We can't have peace without war. And there's going to be plenty of activity that can stir things up. So if you are, let's say, at a party with your beloved and you're the social butterfly flitting and floating, and you just happen to look like you're flirting and a little bit more than usual, or maybe your partner is, and suddenly drama is created. Now there's harmony through conflict. And that's where the conflict creates growth, and it can bring you guys closer together. However, I'm going to point down, I'm going to mix around a little bit. This also can be a make or break second half of September with this full moon in Pisces and the sun moving into Libra and Mercury going retrograde. There is an element here because on the 17th of the month, the sun will trine Pluto, which is in Capricorn. Venus squares off with Saturn, which squares off with your sun, moon, or rising sign, creating tension in your 4th and 7th houses. 1st, 4th, 7th. That indicates there's relationship dynamics where you feel at home. And it may, even if you're single, you may find that you're at a work party or you're out socializing, you're just being yourself, and somebody doesn't like it. It creates tension and you have to resolve it. Now, the gift of the Libra energy is Libra loves to negotiate, loves to have fair and balanced debates, likes to debate, mix it up. The difficulty here is that there's going to be a lot of truth telling happening at the second half of the month. At the same time, it's going to be mixed in with the Mercury retrograde and a full moon in Pisces, because Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So it could be a little nebulous at times. And so there's going to be this mixture of this is what's true, I think, but right now this is what's true, but that may change. Or I don't have all the information, but I'm making my opinions, I'm making these statements, and this is what I want. And then once you make these declarations, you can't take it back. So there's going to be a fallout. That's where this make or break could come in. That I can't tell you how many conversations we've all probably had where you're in a relationship and it gets really intense. And after a while, you're just like, that's it. I'm out. I want a divorce, or I don't want to do this anymore. We're not friends. That's a very strong statement that could be made. And so the invitation is pause, drop into your grounding, drop into your heart, and say, the emotions are running too high. Let me step back. I don't want to make a statement that I don't really mean. Because when you have your full moon in Pisces, and for you, Leo, it's going to be in your 8th house. This is going to go pretty deep. This is on September 20th. You're going to feel the energy leading up to it. So this is going to really challenge you. What's happening under the surface? What's happening behind the scenes? You're looking at the people that are closest to you. This is the intimacy house. This can be a physical thing, but it's more so psychologically emotional that's coming up, and the experiences that may show up with this. And this is a time where you become really aware of all the things that you've been carrying as a result of the people and situations in your lives. So it's going to illuminate. It's a full moon. It illuminates this particular area of your life, and you get to see what some of the closest people to you have either given you or not given you. And with this Libra energy, you're looking for balance. You're looking for give and take, reciprocity. You may also be looking at ways in which you can gain through others. How are you going to do that if you're running away from them or you're making bold statements that you may not mean? This is a very transformative full moon for you, because you are working with the energy of what values you place, and people tend to reflect our values or situations. Many of you Leos may leave a particular role or even company, a job, because you don't feel valued. And this full moon could reveal more ways in which you've been taken advantage of, more ways in which maybe you've taken advantage of somebody and they leave, and you have to fill that gap. It could go either way. I mentioned the sun entering Libra on the 22nd. It is the fall equinox that's in your 3rd house, activating more things about relationship. But this is also an uptick to your social calendar, and it further energizes your opinion, which is fine to share our opinions. The difficulty is you have to know your audience. You have to know whether or not it's the right information, and then how you deliver it. You're not responsible for how they take it. You're just responsible for how they deliver it. Now, the great thing about the sun in Libra here, it's a huge uptick on your social calendar, as I mentioned, but it also gives you spontaneous creativity and the ability to connect with others. So building those strategic relationships and partnerships are really up. And second half of September is a great time to have conversations with important people, also where you have a chance to share some of your knowledge, some of your intelligence. You may even learn some new things. You may be energized about, creating a learning platform, or you may be energized about learning something new, a new language even. There's also an indication here, 3rd house being siblings. So there may be something that you have to do to help one of your siblings as well. Mercury retrograde in Libra. So Mercury's going to be in your 3rd house, which naturally is ruled in the zodiac by Gemini, which Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So Mercury likes being in the 3rd house, But with the retrograde, again, not everything is as it appears to be. So don't get caught up in the flattery. Don't try to charm your way into something. But it's a great time for completing things, like a writing project, or maybe revisiting certain conversations in relationships that you just couldn't tackle before. This is also a great time for friendships to come back, for you to talk about and reconnect with people that you haven't talked to in a while. It may also be thoughtful conversations and having to negotiate. So this is a great time for you, if you're willing to take your time, ask a lot of questions, go through the delays that often happen, that it can allow you to negotiate some greater things as the time goes on. Now, as far as relationships are concerned, I want to just point out, Leo, that your single Leos, you guys are going to really have to work with how you say things, what you say, really considering what another person may need from you. Ask more questions than make assumptions or statements, because that's going to open doorways for you to go really deep into understanding the person that you're wanting to date. It also may go deep into understanding who you are as a partner and how you show up with others. Bonded Leos, this is an opportunity, like I say, for you to go even deeper, form more deeply emotional bonds, which is what gives others the drive to partner with you, to get things done. Like I say, you can't make someone want to do something, but you can make them do it. But when you get them to want it, it's because they're emotionally invested, because they see your vision and they are ready to join you. All right, Leo, I hope that this helps in some way. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and find me at jamiedawn.com. Have a great month.